Oh, it's nice out.
You're listening to the Trim Radio Network. We cut the bull and serve the truth.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Good morning, and it is a beautiful morning here in South Florida. You're listening to the Fishing in Florida Show, and it is an honor and a privilege to have you join us. This morning, I have Carolyn with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, this is the young lady you got to talk to. Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome, my dear.
Well, thank you very much, Riscala. How are you doing this morning?
Trying to wake up and getting the cobwebs out. It is amazing. This is the fastest 2 hours of my life. I'm telling you, we get on, and no sooner we get on, we get back off again. Anyway, let me do a little bit on the radar this morning. We have spotted showers all over the state. Nothing really serious going on. According to the tide predictions, we had a low tide this morning at 2:41. The next high tide is going to be about 45 minutes from now. The next low tide will be 2:54 this afternoon, and the final high tide for today will be 9:20. The beach conditions are looking superb. Just bear in mind that some of our beaches do have rocks, so just be aware of that. But there's no reports of any of the nasties out there. No man of war, no sea lice, any of that stuff. The report about the beach is it's flat with ripples on the sand. That's awful cool. Let's see, we're going to have a deep high tide this morning due to the full moon. They're saying that the high tide is going to be an additional 3.4 feet extended. So if it's whatever your regular high tide is, supposedly it's going to be another 3 feet higher than that. And this is something I never used to pay attention to this stuff until I started doing the show, and I started realizing, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And again, according to the Wonder Map, we've got stuff all over the state, but it's all little, nothing major going on. It looks like it's going to be a gorgeous day to be out there and do what I love to do, go fishing. Did you get to do fishing? I know you did.
Oh, yes, I did. So yesterday, I was lucky enough to fish one of our Atlas Trax customers' 37-foot Stevie boats in a tournament called Chase and Tails. And you and I are very fond of Summer Warren and her tournament out of there in Palm Beach. The only downside for me is I was instructed to be at that boat at 4:30 in the morning in Palm
Holy
Beach,
smokes.
which meant I had to get up at 3 o'clock and out of my house by just about 4 o'clock in the morning to get up there. So it was a real long day. It was incredibly gorgeous out. It was incredibly hot out. We caught some huge barracuda that unfortunately were not part of the weigh-in category, which we still had a lot of fun getting them. We got a couple sailfish that were great to fight that weren't, unfortunately, tournament fish, but did not make it to the weigh-in. But we had a great time. I met another new angler, lady angler, who drove further than me. She drove at 1:30 in the morning all the way from Marathon, which is, for our listeners, is way down in the Keys, and she arrived at the boat at the same time, 4:30 in the morning, exhausted. And what is so cool about her is she's also a lady captain. She works for a charter company, a very famous charter company called Two Conks out of Marathon, and lives in the same neighborhood as our Florida Salty Cowgirl.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
So there'll be an introduction going on to those two girls, and they're both crazy fishermen.
So how many boats? Excuse me. How many boats do you think were in the tournament?
They had 140 registered. I actually worked the captain's party and volunteered my time to help them on Thursday. That was an amazing event. But I think only about probably 90 ended up fishing Riscala. I think some of them bowed out because of people, still getting the COVID and just being safe. And of that, I believe only about 30 weighed in. There really wasn't that many fish caught yesterday. Surprisingly, I think the full moon that we talked about earlier really changed the bite of a lot of those meat fish that we were looking for. So, we really only had one small kingfish, no dolphin, and then wahoo. We didn't have any wahoo either. So I think it was a light day for weighing in, but a great event. A lot of money was raised for chasing tails, which is all that really mattered anyways.
Yeah, if anybody who was involved in helping promote and moving that tournament forward, whether you physically won money or anything, you're a winner. You're helping other people. And to me, this is one of the basic things that we should consider as people who live together on this planet, and that is whenever we can help somebody, help. And this is like a double whammy, in my opinion. You get to go fishing, which people don't go fishing because they don't like fishing. People go fishing because they love fishing. So you get to go fishing. You get to do something you love. You may win the grand prize. You may not win the grand prize. The bottom line is, after all is said and done, you're a winner. And the reason why is you have helped promote something that helps other people. I mean, that's I can't help but want to promote things like that. Everybody wins. The bottom line is everybody wins. And in a situation like this where you have a debilitating disease, debilitating not only physically, financially, a lot of people don't realize it. This can quickly drain whatever you have very, very quickly. It won't take long at all. And a lot of these diseases that Chasing Tails supports, the financial support they get for the families, the insurance companies don't cover very much of this stuff. It's very minimal. So this is really a blessing for everybody, a blessing for those who got to go fishing, a blessing for those who were involved in the tournament, knowing that the outcome is going to help somebody, and then, of course, the people who actually benefit financially from it. So it's a win-win situation all around. I think we'll see if we can get Summer on next Sunday, and she can give us a lowdown as to how it all went from her eyes. So how long were you out there fishing?
Oh, my goodness. So we were off the dock about 5 o'clock. We had, of course, go get 6 dozen live bait, which was, fun to go do. We actually just purchased it. But, when you're loaded down with 6 dozen bait, you expect a great day. We basically pulled our lines in about 3 o'clock. We knew we didn't have anything to weigh in. And actually what the guys were doing that took us out were pre-practicing or pre-fishing yesterday for a really big tournament today. Today is a saltwater shootout that the weigh-in, I just found out, is about 8 canals up for me. So I'm going to make sure that I get up there later and see what kind of fish these boys all and ladies all caught. So they were kind of just testing their gear and letting the girls go out and fish, which is so generous considering the cost. They paid for everything, the fuel, bait, and everything. Now get this. The bait bill was $600.
Oh, my gosh.
The fuel, this boat, I was watching the gauges, when we were running to where we wanted to go, was burning 56 gallons of gas an hour.
Oh, my goodness.
Right, and I couldn't tell if that was the speed or the fuel burn, and it happened to be both. So, when you're looking at fueling these engines and the cost and the registration and everything else, it's a pretty amazing cost, and they donated that to us, the girls, to fish yesterday. So we want to thank the Real Fantasy team. We could have them on one time. They're all good guys. They get out and they help all these tournaments donate their time.
Yeah. Now I know a lot of times you're on Real Captivating. Is this a different vessel you were on?
Yeah, absolutely. So Real Captivating was out of the water, unfortunately, so they couldn't commit the boat to us. This happens to be an Atlas Trax customer with a 37-foot CV that has been asking us to fish with him quite often, and that 4:30 a.m. arrival time has often scared us away. So we decided we better step up and go, or the invitations were going to stop. So it was really nice. So it was the first time we fished a tournament with them. Well, I'm sure we'll fish with them again. It was a great time. They taught us a lot of things. They showed us how to run the lines. They let us do a lot of it ourselves. Again, they were pre-testing their gear to make sure it was great for today. This is a real big tournament today. But it was great that they let us try and, do things, bait the hook.
Awesome.
Show the ladies how to really, get out there and not be afraid to pick up a reel when it gets hit by a fish. So we love the guys at Real Fantasy. Ian Olenberger, the owner, good guy. He always invites us out.
We'll have to have them on. Have somebody from the Real Captivating team as well. The people who take care of the yacht. Have them on as well.
Yeah. Let me tell you how nice those guys at Real Captivating are again, and you know this. So there was extra bait yesterday, and, you know, the guys on my boat didn't know what to do with it. Normally you just throw it back in the water, and for our listeners, bait's about $100 per 12 pieces of bait. So Travis, the captain of Real Captivating, he got a bait pen out. He put it in the water for us. We pulled up to Real Captivating yesterday on the way in. Ian and the boys at Real Fantasy got to put all of their bait in a holding pen overnight. They got to get it this morning. That way they didn't lose bait. They didn't have to buy any more bait.
Wow.
And those guys are Real Captivating. They just said, hey, take whatever you need off the boat, which amazing crew at Real Captivating.
It's just amazing the ability to work with each other, seemingly at least, in the fishing community. They're always reaching out and, hey, if you need help with that, or, you know, that kind of thing. Seems to be the common mentality in a lot of the fishing community here in South Florida. I'm sure it's probably the same everywhere, other places, but I witness it here, and it is truly humbling sometimes what some of the people do to see to it that other people are helped. The Chasing Tails is only one of many tournaments that we have reported on. What was it? The garbage can, trash can? There was another one that had a funny name.
Sure. The trash can slam with Michaela for autism. And I'll have to tell you, I mean, a lot of our guests I bumped into at the captain's party. We had Trey West from Big Dog Tackle, Sean Miller from Offshore Angler Pompano Beach. We have to get Lance Irwin on. His son has cancer, and he runs an incredible boat rental company out of Pompano Beach. So, you know, you bump into these same guys all the time, and all it is, you know, you're competing with each other when the sun comes up. But when you're not, you're the best of buddies.
Yeah.
And same with Real Captivating, loaning the bait pen to this other team. They'll fish against them, I'm sure, soon. But today it's, you know, let's help each other out and make sure that we got each other's back. So it's a really good community, and it was great to bump into everybody the other day.
I love how they have these tournaments that help, you know, one way or another. There is the Ohana. We had Stephanie and Shelley, I think it is. I think that was last week. The Ohana tournament coming up. That's going to be September the 3rd and 4th. It's going to be at the Sailfish Marina. There's going to be tens of thousands of dollars in prizes to be given away. Again, another tournament to help families. This is to benefit the Boys Town. Boys Town doesn't help just boys. I mean, originally that's what it was about, but they have expanded tremendously. They help families now. They go out and they find families in need, find them, and they provide services for them. So this is another tournament that's going to help. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. I love it. It's the Ohana Salty Classic, September 3rd and 4th. I think we're going to have the rep on next week, if we can sneak her out for a little while, and she'll give us the latest on the lowdown. So if you want more information about that, you can find it at www.boystown.org/Ohana, O-H-A-N-A, N like Nancy, O-H-A-N-A, and you can get more information there. Again, everybody, and this is the kind of stuff I enjoy. Promoting because everybody wins, and my daughter happens to work for Boys Town, so I know exactly when they say that they're going to help families. They're not kidding. I see it on a personal basis. So there's another one coming up here, and I can't find it on my computer. It's what happens during the morning as I'm going through the different pages and getting things set up. Somehow I must have closed that page, but I think there's another one coming up right after that. That is a benefit for
a big one. I'll tell you which one the girls are going to be fishing in again is October 1 and 2. It's out of Sailfish Marina again. It's called the Twisted Sister. That is a ladies-only tournament. It is a boat decorating contest on the 1st with an 80s theme, which we love decorating boats, and we'll be fishing the Real Captivating 62 Viking. So there's a lot of space to decorate. And then the tournament is on October 2nd. So at Sailfish Marina, for any of our listeners that are close, there'll be rock and roll bands. It'll be a great party, usually buffet food, things like that. The weigh-in will be there as well. So this is the first year of this particular tournament, just like the Ohana Salty Classic. And since that's out of Sailfish Marina, I'll see if we can maybe fish real captivating and help the girls there too.
Yeah, and we have Joe Hector coming up, I hope. You know, when I say, yeah, I'm expecting so-and-so, for some reason, every time I say that, it's like jinxes me. Something happens, they're not in a good area where they can call, or something comes up and a last-minute emergency. But we're supposed to have Joe on here shortly. He's going to give us an update about his latest fishing tournament. I met Joe over the Extreme Kayak. He has a tournament that is intended for kayaks, and my gosh, I think he has over 100 of them sometimes, and they go out there and do their fishing thing. But there's a couple of other ones that he is promoting, and we'll find out here in a few minutes about them. So there's always something going on with regards to tournaments in the area. I wanted to ask you about the barracuda. You were kind enough to send me a picture of that big martin. That was a big fish, man. It was like, what, 5 feet? 6 feet?
Yeah, that was a monster, actually. I caught one first, and then Vanessa, the young lady I fished with yesterday, she caught one. And, of course, I was so excited I forgot to take a photo of mine. But those were really big fish. We caught them on spinners. We were hoping they were kingfish because they would have been winning fish by far. But, yeah, they were real big. You know, what else? We caught a bonita. We got a beautiful sailfish that was a fight all the way around the boat, which was great. That gets a little crazy when you're flying. We actually were flying kites. I see Mike's going to be on shortly. So when that fish took off out of the kite, you know, we had to clear all the lines as this thing literally swam around the boat taking line. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, but the barracudas were real big. I had not caught one that big.
Did you release them?
Yes, we did.
You
we
did?
released both of them. Not really much use for them over here for us. We figured let them go back out, but they were big. They were the biggest ones I've seen.
Have you ever eaten barracuda?
I have not eaten barracuda. How about yourself?
I have, yeah. Small ones. I heard when I was young, we used to eat just about anything that we caught almost. But we would eat the small ones. But I heard later on in years that you can get some kind of poisoning from them. I don't know exactly. I'm not real clear about it, but it's some kind of poisoning, and there's no antidote for it. And you have to live with it for the rest of your life. It messes you up, your neurological responses to certain things. It messes you up. That's why I was wondering if you kept it or not. And I don't recall whether it was the larger ones that are more susceptible to this, or it's the smaller ones. But when I was young, we used to eat the smaller ones. They taste great. Tastes like trout.
Yeah, it's a larger fish that supposedly have this ciguatera, or ciguatera is actually the fish poisoning.
That's what it is?
Neurotoxins, and affects your fingers and toes. And I have a friend who got the mercury poisoning from eating so much fish over the course of his life. He owned a tackle store, and I think it affects him now with his fingers and other things, permanently. But yeah, you've got to watch, especially large snappers. Also, you're not supposed to be eating those.
Really? That's the first I've heard of that.
Yeah, large reef snappers. You always got to stick with the smaller ones because of that ciguatera, and also some mercury poisoning possibility if you eat.
So the mercury poisoning is occurring even. Well, I know it happened that they do. There is mercury in the salt, but I figured that the real problem was our fresh water, all the contaminants coming out from the big lake. I didn't realize that you could, eating a lot of salt water food could get you. Jeez, how much food did this guy eat? Oh my goodness!
He was a tackle store legend here in Lighthouse Point. His name was Tommy Green, and he's still with us. He's a little bit older, but yeah, it affected his joints, and he actually ended up selling the store to Jordan Smith. We've had him on Custom Rod and Reel, and I check on him every once in a while. But yeah, if all your customers bring you fish every single day, so. I think that's kind of affected him, and hopefully that just gets out of your system eventually. But you got to eat. You got to eat that. You can't turn down fresh fish.
Not me. That's one of my favorites. Seafood is one of my favorites. I have a hard time turning that down. So I just never really considered that the mercury. I mean, I imagine he probably had to eat maybe fish every day. So I was lucky if I got fish twice a week. I mean, we were living like kings and queens if we got it twice a week. It was typically, but we would have seafood usually around once a week because we go fishing just about every weekend as a family. It was a family outing. And never many times that we wouldn't catch something. So we would typically have fish once a week. All right. Well, it's that magic time. See how fast that goes? My gosh. We're off for a break, and we'll be right back. And hopefully when we come back, we'll have Joe Hector with us.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclub.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge. Flea and tick dips also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida show. Good morning, and it is a beautiful morning here in South Florida. And of course, being South Florida and being the Sunshine State, the warmies are already out. So watch out, because it's going to be a warm day today, but it's going to be a gorgeous day. And this morning I have Carolyn with Atlas Trax as my co-host. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, my dear.
Well, thank you, Riscala. And I have to tell you, it was extremely hot out there yesterday. There was no wind, so we couldn't even fly kites for the first part of the day. And thank goodness the wind picked up, but it was blazing hot out there.
And I don't know about it, how hot what it felt like, but I got to tell you, here where I'm at, it felt like it was in the hundreds, like 103, 104, 105. It was, I don't know how people did it in the old days, and these people at work today, like these roofers down the street from me, there are, I don't know, maybe half a dozen or so men working on a roof, putting the roof on. My gosh, it's like a magnifying glass when you get up there on top of that roof. It's unbelievable. I don't know how people work. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, and it does. Even the reflection of the typical white fiberglass on the boat, I mean, it gets pretty bright. You know, you get a little fatigued, and, you know, the glimmer off the water. I hate to say it, you know, I'm complaining, but it does. It does get a little hot when you got 8 people running around on a 30
it drains your energy. I mean, I find that after a day like that and coming back in, it's like, oh, man. It's like somebody stuck an electrical cord in me and sucked all the energy out of me. It's pretty wearing out, that kind of thing. So you spent quite a few hours out there, and how far out did you go?
It's a good question. You know, we stayed in depths between 60 feet and about 200 feet, hoping to find some kingfish off of the reef. There was a lot of weed out there, so that was kind of hindering us. We were getting a lot of weed in our live bait, you know, that would create us to have to bring lines in a lot. So it was a lot of work. But we never really went that far offshore, which was good. And there really wasn't a lot of boats out there, surprisingly. It was very flat, calm. It was beautiful out. We saw a bunch of sea turtles, so that's always fun, hoping to catch a cobia. But they were very large sea turtles, which we were pleased to see. You know, unusual. But, you know, we were out there from lines in at 6:30, lines out at 3 o'clock, and once you get back to the dock, like you were saying, it's not over. You're cleaning the boat. You know, all the gear has to come off the boat, get it prepared, double check for the guys to go back out again today. So it's a lot of work. It's many, many hours after just getting back to the dock. Yeah,
there's quite a bit of upkeep and maintenance when you have a boat, regardless. I mean, if any size boat, especially one that you're going to take out in the ocean. I remember when I had mine, it was I kind of used to kid with people. That was my affair. My boat was my affair. I have, you know, almost every moment. This is BC, before children. Every opportunity I had, I was making sure that everything was working on the boat. And then every opportunity I had to go out, I was out. It wasn't uncommon for me to be out 2-3 times a week. We'd go out after work and go shrimping, and this is down in Miami. We'd go shrimping during the shrimp season and come back with, oh my gosh, so much shrimp. Carolyn, oh my gosh, it was unbelievable. But then that got to be a problem, because it literally became like a parking lot out there with so many boats. You had to be careful. The lines tangled up, and people would drag these nets behind the boat. Sometimes the net would be 20 feet behind the boat. And, you know, it's night. You don't really, unless you got a spotlight or something, you don't really notice this thing because it's semi-submerged. It's not like it's sticking out of the water. And you run across the line and it eats up a prop because they use rope. And I used aluminum props. I ate up a prop one night. I thought completely cleared this guy's line. No, he was dragging it like 35, 40 feet behind his boat and hit my prop. And I used a very light aluminum prop and literally bent my prop to the point when we came to leave, you could feel the vibration. So that got to be more of a pain than it was enjoyable. At first it was great, but then as it caught on over the years, it just became I don't know. I don't know how it is now, but we just stopped doing it. Some of the most hilarious and some of the most aggravating and frustrating things that I've witnessed were the end of my shrimping season going out, and what goes on at the docks at some of the docks. Oh my goodness, dock stories.
You know, and are you doing the shrimping at nighttime, right? With a light?
Yeah.
Is that how you do that?
Yeah. Yeah, we would be up under the bridges in the bay because they would, the light from the bridges would also shine down, and that would kind of help you see what's going on. And then we had lanterns hanging from the boat and spotlights. And the more lit up the area, the more you could see the shrimp. We used hand nets, but this is what made it frustrating for a lot of us, is that we believed in doing it with the hand nets, just going along and doing it. That's how it all started. But then we got people there that they would build these nets out of PVC, and I'm not kidding you, sometimes 3 by 3 feet by 4 feet, these nets, and they would drag them behind their boats, and it made it for kind of an unfair deal for everybody else. But it is what it is. I mean, you get to do what you get to do. It's just one of those things. But yeah, we did it primarily at night. My most favorite time was during the full moon. I just seemed to really be quite a few of them running during the full moon. I think maybe from the lights of the moon attract them. I don't know. But it was lots of shrimp, Carolyn. Oh my gosh. Even with just hand doing it, we would have easily 30, 40 pounds of shrimp without any problem, and within a couple of maybe 2 hours. Not very long.
I have to say, you mentioned the full moon. The full moon was out the other night, and we have a feeling that's why a lot of those meat fish weren't eating. But I could tell you that it was amazing to be in the dark on the intercoastal with the full moon heading out the inlet.
Isn't that an awesome?
The moon was lighting us like it was daytime. It was pretty amazing.
It's awesome. I love that. I love that.
It was a very low, huge moon.
I think the full moon is tonight, I think. I may be wrong, but I think it's actually tonight. We're witnessing almost a full moon. So, yeah, isn't it? That's an awesome feeling. It's almost like for me, like watching an old-time black and white television set. Now, I'm really showing my age, but was like, because you can hardly see any color when it's like that. It's either black or white or gray, and there's not, you don't really see color in it. What else is amazing, you would think that when you're out on a boat like that, we had very powerful hand lights. I had one that was so powerful, I could point it at the street lights, and it would turn the street light off because it would think that the sun is out. That's how powerful this is. And we'd take this out in the boat, and you would think that would just shine everywhere. And the water seems to, it's the best way to describe it, absorb the light. It's just almost like a sponge with the light. So when you have a light like that, instead of it reflecting off of the different things that you're shining it on when you're on land, whether it's a tree, a bush, or land, whatever it might be, that light hits it and reflects, and it goes out in different directions, and it allows the area to be lit up. On the ocean, that doesn't happen. It's like literally like absorbs it. It's weird. You'd have to witness it, but that's just why we carried 3-4 of these things on the boat when we go out fishing at night, especially when we're leaving in Key Biscayne or Biscayne Bay, because there's so much junk floating in the water. You could easily hit something. So one wasn't enough for us. We'd have 2, sometimes 3 people shining lights down in the water just to make sure. As we're cruising along, we're going along, maybe 22, 25 knots. So when you see something, it's a lot of times you're on top of it by the time you see it, that kind of thing. It's kind of strange, but it is an awesome feeling when it's a full moon to be out there under the moon. Oh my gosh! So you got to see the sunrise. That's another awesome feeling, to watch the sun come as everything becomes lit up very slowly. That's another awesome experience. And then you get to experience as it rises, everything's nice and cool, and once it gets up, there goes the cool.
It was really strange, I have to tell you. So the moon was laying down glow, so it almost like made a highway for us.
Wow.
But when the sun comes up, and, you know, I don't really see the sun coming up much, it was almost like you were in a snow globe, and here's why. Because you could look to the left, and it would be jet black, and you would look east to the right, and you would see the light start getting bright and orange, and the sun literally, I'll post pictures. We have pictures of it coming up over the horizon. But then if you look left again, it's still jet black. So it almost felt like you were inside a snow globe, if that was the way to explain it, with a big dome over your head. And it was pretty amazing. And like you said, as soon as the sun comes up and the lines were allowed to go in, it was a pretty amazing thing. So, yeah, I'm glad I got the opportunity to get out there and meet more lady anglers and just help that cause. But the moon was low. It was huge. It was almost orange. It was like a Halloween kind of moon.
We were on, one time we were out on the water and we had one of those yellowish orange moons reflecting off of the water. One of those like today, but it was at night. Today it's going to be glass from what I'm reading here. I mean, I'm sure you've got the monitor going, watching the inlet, right?
Oh, of course, the inlet and offshore, and now even New York a little bit too. I've got some family members up there, so I've got all the earth cams and sunny cams on.
Yeah, and it's all flat, right? It looks like, according to the records, according to the report here I'm reading, it's going to be a flat day today. It's going to be one of those days where, when we were kids, we used to take this little. I had a friend of mine, an 18-foot canoe, and we had a 7.5 horsepower Mercury horsepower outboard on the back of this thing, and we used to go everywhere with this canoe. On days like today, we would go out in the bay, and there are sandbars at low tide out in the middle of the bay. We'd walk the sandbars and pick up the horseshoe crabs and the little blue crabs, the baby blue crabs and things like that, and just spend the day out there getting sunburned and just having a blast. This is going to be one of those days I can see. It's going to be like glass everywhere. So today's the day if you're thinking about going out. Today's going to be a gorgeous day to go out and do that kind of thing, almost for anybody.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I love having the ability with my Atlas Trax trackers to be able to see where all of our clients are, especially when they're fishing a tournament. So I have the ability to see all the boats on one map, and it's pretty neat. There's about 25 guys and ladies that are out there fishing right now for this tournament. As far away as north as Hobe Sound, and as far down is the Keys. So
holy smokes.
I think that's pretty amazing the way that they do this. But all good stuff. And you were mentioning Joe Hector from Extreme Kayaks a little bit ago. I know he always gets a little tied up with his young baby.
Yeah.
But and it's always on a Sunday for something like that. But I bump into him in town every once in a while. He can't miss his big black truck that says Extreme Kayak on the side of it.
It's it really, when you think about just some of the stuff that these people go through that do these tournaments, the work that is involved, the organization that is required, the reaching out to how many different people, it really is something to be. And if I remember right, is he another one that has Extreme Kayak as a benefit to somebody, or no? Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
I don't think it's necessarily a benefit. I just jumped on his website to see if I could at least help and see when the next tournament is. But I'm sure he's got some sailfish tournaments coming up. But it's a great one to bring together the community and get young anglers, kayak anglers out there, introduce people to the sport. But I don't think it's to necessarily benefit. I don't think it's a 501(c) charitable organization.
Mm-hmm.
But I am looking real quick. Let's see if I can see something real quick. Summertime Slam. Looks like he's got tournaments. I don't see any for the rest of the year, but he looks like he had some pretty good standing. Somebody got 71 pounds. First place on the last tournament with 71 pounds of fish, so that's kind of cool.
It was something he was telling me.
71 pounds of fish on a kayak.
Yeah, can you imagine that? He was saying something about freshwater, something, if I remember right. I think he was going to have some kind of a freshwater thing going on.
Yeah, They did something like Lake Ida, like
Yeah.
up your way, I think, with
Yeah.
with peacock bass and things like that.
Yeah, something like that.
The exotic bass roundup. Here it is. Yeah, that was Lake Ida, West Park. That was in April, and that was for bass and other kind of species like that. And I think that was a huge success. I know with him involved, it was a huge success. And I have to tell you, rumors floating around that the Pink Ladies are going to be doing a tournament in the spring.
Woohoo!
So, yeah, woohoo! So that'll be good, and we will be a charitable foundation by then. So, I'll know how hard it is to do a tournament. So.
We're going to have to make sure we tell lots of people about that, and that benefits who? That benefits ladies with cancer survivors.
That's gonna be exciting. That's gonna benefit ladies, women, cancer survivors. We're gonna also add a little side, Humane Society and rescue. We'll be able to raise funds and donations and actually disperse it where the girls think would make the most sense and help people. Maybe some girls that can't work. Like when I had my cancer treatments, they paid my car payments for a while.
Awesome.
You know, just great things like that. And that's going to all, again, be through the generosity and help of Wayne and a real captivating team to help us with that. So we'll have some, I think we're going to have a real big name behind us. He said on the phone he's going to help us with it. So we'll announce that once he confirms. But we couldn't ask for a better fisherman to be there to help us with it. And he knows all the guys at Real Captivating. I'm not sure if we've had him on yet, but as soon as he says yes, I'll get him on and we'll brag about him.
I think it's really, really heartwarming, the support that is out there. My mom, God bless her, she had to have breast surgery many, many, many years ago, and there was really very little support for her, and it was a difficult time in our lives when that happened because having to come back from the surgery. You know, we were, like I said, we were a family that typically went fishing once a week, and we weren't able to do that for a period of time. And it was really hard for her. It wasn't. I'm so glad that there are people like you out there that reach out and work with others and have, you know, someone to talk to. She really didn't have anybody to talk to. I think that would have made all the difference in the world for her. Particularly if she could have spoken to someone who had a similar experience, because then there's almost a bonding, if you will, because you've both shared a similar or the same experience. So it's awesome that we have these organizations to reach out, where women can reach out and help, you know, in whatever way. And what better way to help them heal than to go out and enjoy the ocean. I mean, my gosh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, we have a girl that we've never met before. She's currently going through cancer treatment. She has her surgery at the end of the month, and we sent her a bunch of Pink Lady zipper shirts, and she's been wearing them during her pre-chemo now, and she loves them because it allows her to stay warm, but they can still get access to the port on her chest. And we told her, you know, if when you're feeling good, if you can get over here October 2nd, we'd love to, you know, help you.
Awesome.
Or get you in the boat just to do a ride along. And we hope to meet Amy soon. And, you know, we've had some of our clients raise some money for her. She hasn't worked since March. She is unfortunately bald, and she's had some teeth removed from the chemo treatments. But she's a fisherman, and she can't wait to get back on the water. And, you know, we just sent her shirts for free. We got her address, snuck them out to her, and put her name on them. And she's
how cool
touched.
is that?
And hey, this is how you mentioned support. She actually dialed the phone when she was doing her surgeon appointment and allowed me to listen in on speakerphone because she wanted me there with her for the entire, you know, private surgeon's appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there on my phone with her the whole time. I was very honored that she did that.
Wow. And I'm sure that helped her tremendously to know that someone else is there that has been through it, that is listening to what's going on. And you know, it's kind of sort of, maybe this is a poor analogy, but it's kind of like when one person learns how to ride a bike and you're teaching someone else how to do that. The person that's learning knows that you had to go through, you know, the learning curve to do what was necessary to be able to do it. And then you teach them how to do it. and you're right there with, kind of holding their hand sort of thing. That's awesome, Carolyn. I'm glad that you were able to do that for her, and I'm sure that meant the world to her.
Oh, it absolutely did. I mean, and we will get her over here. We gave her an honorary Pink Lady membership, and when we can get this foundation going right away, I know we'll be able to raise a lot of funds and get out there more and share our stories and really do some good for the world, whether it's breast cancer or you're fond of animal rescues, you've got them yourself. Wherever we can help, we just want to make sure we can touch as many local people as we can. And
everybody wins. I'm part of everybody, so in a way it's kind of selfish, but it does. When you think about it, everybody wins. When we're talking about a tournament that might benefit, we have what was it? The CCA, I think it is. They have a tournament, the only tournament I know of, where you go out and you pick up trash. It's one of the components of their tournament. You might win some cash for picking up some trash. Who wins from all of that? Well, everybody wins. Anybody who enjoys that particular environment that they're cleaning up, they win. If it's like the who is that? Ocean 8 who does who works with CCA, and they go out and clean up the crab traps. When they pick these crab traps up, that because they're abandoned doesn't mean that they don't stop working. They still kill fish and crabs, and so when they pick them up, the fish get a benefit. The water gets a benefit because it doesn't have the decaying carcasses of these fish down there that the other fish can't get to. We benefit because of the environment that we live in. My gosh, we have water on 3 sides of the state. You're in the wrong place if you don't like water. So everybody benefits. That's awesome. That's the kind of things that we see happening within the fishing community. And I think we have Joe Hector on. Let's see. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Lascala.
How are you? Oh, this is Mike. Hey, Mike. How are you, my friend?
How you doing?
All right. It's your area code and the first 3 of your number are almost the same as Joe Hector's. And I thought it was Joe. And we were trying to get him on for the last slot. Well, good morning, my friend. And where are you at? You're north of me, aren't you?
Yes, I'm in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, you're south of me. I'm up in Palm Beach. I keep thinking that you're up near the Orlando area, fishing the Orlando area. So have you been? And tell me what, I know I saw that you sent me a picture of, he got a new boat, Carolyn.
Yeah.
We've been waiting.
A new 20-foot bass cat with a 225 Yami.
Lord have mercy. And I'm afraid to ask this question, but how slow does this thing go?
Well, I had my granddaughter with me, so I didn't want to, kill anybody. So I only took it up to 68 last weekend.
Gosh.
But I think the max speed is somewhere in around 75.
Lord have mercy. Wow. Well, I got to tell you, if you're doing 30 on the water, it feels like you're flying. So you can imagine what it would be like. When I used to ride my jet ski, my top speed on the jet ski was about 68 miles an hour. And I get up to around 50. You literally feel like you're flying. So that's pretty amazing. So I'm sure that not only did you get to go out and fool around and enjoy the power, did you get to do some fishing?
Yes, I actually fished a tournament with Papa Rojas, my partner from Okeechobee. We fished a tournament out on Alligator Alley. We had about almost 18 pounds. We had 3 really good ones. We lost a couple that would have pushed us over 20. But the winners had 20 even. They were right, in the same area we were at. They're pretty much all the fish were caught the same way, big worms down deep. It's so hot outside that, you get on these bridge corners or you find a deep shelf or rock pile or something and you throw worms and stuff. And matter of fact, one of my buddies sent me a video yesterday. He threw one of the worms that I helped develop. It's called the Big Nasty from Bruiser Baits. It's 14.5 inches. He had on an absolute giant yesterday, and unfortunately, on video, right next to the boat, it snapped his line.
Oh. That's when you know somebody's vocabulary.
Yeah. But just to give you an idea, the Everglades right now is full of peacock bass. You can catch some nice bass. it's not cherry picking out there because of the heat. You know, I mean, you got to work for your fish, but at nighttime, they're catching 30-pound bags out in the Everglades right now. I mean,
Wow.
night fishing. If you could handle the mosquitoes, you know, and get full dressed and put on some off or whatever, you could go out there and catch some absolute giants at night.
Wow. So I wanted to ask you, I read earlier today that we're going to have an abnormally high tide. Saltwater is going to be 3.4 feet over normal. Does that affect the tide when we're in the areas that you're fishing in the backwaters and stuff like that?
No, not at all. Not at all. The only thing that really affects the water out in the Everglades or on Okeechobee is water management when they start moving water. And they haven't been really moving a lot of water down south, and the water's been staying pretty stable. We haven't had we had some rain there for a little while, but not too much the last few days. So he's pretty much staying stable right now. But this is the hottest time. I mean, you literally feel like you're cooking out there. So if you decide to go out, take a spot like mile marker 41 on the alley, or on the Holiday Park side on the alley where there's bridges, where you know if it gets too hot, you can slide underneath the bridge and cool off.
Or an umbrella.
Yeah, bring an umbrella.
Hey, there's an idea for a product. Maybe we could come up with some way to make an anchor for one of those huge beach umbrellas, and that way you could just, whenever you need it, just pop it up, open it up. There you go.
Actually, the guides out there are coming up with. I mean, they got umbrellas on there, but they come up with crazy ideas to mount them. But
or those Chinese umbrella hats. There you go.
There you go.
We'll get an umbrella hat.
Scala.
Go ahead, Carolyn. Say it again.
I was going to say that would solve all the problem right there. And then there's mounted a drink holder on top.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, Okeechobee itself is fishing pretty tough on the south side right now. All the better fishing seems to be up on the north side by like J&S, Kissimmee, with the mouth of the Kissimmee River. But the north side of Okeechobee, Cairn House, stuff like that, the north side seems to be fishing better. Down south has been brutally tough.
What's the water quality?
I mean, you know, a lot of areas up north are clear, clean, everything. There was reports like a couple weeks ago that down south had a lot of green slime and stuff.
Yeah. I'm seeing it here. I'm seeing it here in the canals that we have here. That is horrible.
Yeah, they're you know, until they say, you know, they say that it happens all the time. Matter of fact, I just read an article where 3 people died, and I don't know if it was in Florida or California, but the guy, you know, I think it was in California, the husband and the wife and the dog and everything, everybody died from some kind of gas from their you know, their what do you call it, the algae bloom they had over in California.
We have people who got sick here too as well. I didn't hear about anybody dying, but people got really, really sick, sent to the hospital kind of sick on the West Coast. They got really bad. They had the bloom mixed with the red tide, and at one point, this is going back a couple of years ago. At one point, they were announcing over the radio to people stay away from the water line, because with the waves coming in and breaking, it's getting this stuff airborne, and people are breathing it and having problems breathing.
The crazy thing is, I mean, the anglers in FWC who does all the spraying and stuff, we had all these meetings and stuff. We gave ideas, and pretty much none of our ideas have come to light. I mean, I don't know what the answer is. I know 20 years ago, the algae blooms they weren't nowhere near the destructive force.
I don't remember anything like this growing up.
Yeah, I mean, Okeechobee from just 20 years ago, Okeechobee's lost 75% of its offshore grass, if not more.
Wow.
So, you take away the stuff that filters, this stuff out, and, this is the result of it.
And there's no replacement? They haven't tried to replace?
There's no replacement plan. There's no, I recommended to FWC last year to make no spray zones, where they go out and they plant hydrilla and coontail and plants offshore and in areas around the lake, and make it to where nobody can go and spray it. Just let it grow.
Mm-hmm.
If it chokes the area up, it chokes it up, but
Yeah, but it also filters out.
They just won't. They won't do. They won't do it. They won't do. They just keep spraying and spraying, and there's no filter. And the result is, I feel bad for my kids and their kids. 20 years from now, what are they going to have?
Nothing. And what are they spraying, Mike? You know what they're spraying, right?
Well, they're spraying some nasty stuff. I saw a report where it actually affected bald eagles, where the eagles were eating a fish and they couldn't fly back to their nest. They were losing their sense of
the
where
stuff
they're
they're spraying is horrific. It's glyphosate is what they're spraying. In most of these cases, what you'll find is glyphosate. And I was talking earlier about what an honor it is to be able to, in some microscopic way, help when we're involved in situations where everybody wins. This is 180 degrees. Everybody loses. Everybody. Nobody wins with glyphosate. It's nothing. The environment doesn't win. The animals
honestly,
don't win.
Marcella, Okeechobee should be the biggest STA area on the planet. It should, all these little holes they're digging everywhere, and they're planting plants and forcing the water in there to clean it up. They're even spraying those areas. It just makes no sense at all to me. And I don't know what their game plan is. I don't even know if they have a game plan.
That's sad. Well, if you are someone who is concerned about our water, you need to be in contact with our representatives and be on their back about what's going on. And how many times have you heard me say, if you don't like water, you're in the wrong place? We have water on 3 sides of our state. 3 sides. And then the state itself, the what we call the land, which is really, in some cases, it's not land at all. It's just rock. But regardless, the state itself is like, especially the southern part of the state.
The problem is they're Republican or Democrat. These guys say, we love the water. We're going to fix it. We're going to do this and that. And then for some reason, a year into their stuff, it's like they just disappear.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if special lobbyists and stuff get a hold of them or what. They just disappear.
This is why I say when I do the other show, I say to people, we need new blood. This is time for new blood now. It's time for new people to come in, and hopefully we get people who haven't been bought, because it's not just the water. Just about any subject you talk about, this is the same thing. They get in, they can tell you they're going to make something better, and they get in, and within a short period of time, it's the same old thing. It's just a different
what they need to
phase.
do is make FWC to where the people vote in the head leaders of FWC, especially their spray program, because, these guys have been in their lifers, and if they're more concerned about one aspect of the environment, they're not going to protect the other. To me, they're going against their protocol as far as protecting the animals when it comes to this spraying. It's killing everything. But on a positive note, you got to remember, I went from a tracker to a bass cat, so I went from 40 miles an hour up to 80. So once I learned how not to kill nobody in my boat, I'll give you guys a call, and we'll have to head out and do some fishing when it gets a little cooler out.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was going to say, and I'm heading down to Plantation today, and I've got girlfriends that love getting their airboats out. So you're going to get some of the pink ladies. We'll get 2 or 3 of us out there, and we'll go do some bass fishing, because I think that would be a hoot to get out with you. And I'm real close to you. You got to watch out.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely get out, and just so hopefully we get some kind of I hate to say it because I hate cold weather, but man, some kind of front to push this weather down. It's brutal out there.
It has been brutally hot. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. It's just brutally hot. So you went from a Volkswagen Beetle to a Corvette. It was basically
exactly.
on the water. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing, my friend. And God bless you. Wish you an awesome day. I appreciate you taking the time to share with us.
And you too, and good fishing to everybody out there. Florida's still one of the best states to catch fish. My buddy Adam, he's out there catching the black grouper and stuff. He does the charters and stuff. They're catching a lot of fish. We just got to somehow get our representatives to, show a little love to the state. That's all.
Amen.
Texas did a great job of recouping all their stuff. They could use that as a role model and clean our stuff up. We still got hope if we all, if everybody sticks together.
That's it. That's the trick. Just to work together, and everybody wins. When we work together, we all win. That's the wonderful thing about it. All right, my friend, an awesome day to you. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say good so long to you, and we'll go on a break.
All right. You guys.
We'll see you guys soon. Tight lines.
You too. All right. Take care.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge. Flea and tick dips also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It has caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. I'm fishing and
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. We've already shot an hour. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe how fast it goes. Sunday mornings, this is the fastest 2 hours of my life. Half the show's already gone. And I swear, I just blinked a couple of eyes and it's already over. Anyway, this morning I have Carolyn with Atlas Trax with me, and she is so wonderful. She spends her mornings with me, majority of them anyway, 99% of them, with me, and helps me co-host Fishing in Florida show. I'm ever so grateful for her. She's with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Well, thanks, Rascala, and I have to tell you, I've got so many folks checking in with me right now, giving me fishing reports, which I love when that happens. So there's some kingfish in the box, some 30-pound kingfish. I just really love when people reach out to me and kind of give me their stats of the morning.
Awesome. Well, we missed Joe Hector this morning. He just sent me a text. We have to pray for his mom. Something happened. He's in the emergency room with his mom. That's why he missed his slot this morning. So those of you, if you would please say a prayer for Joe's mom. And while we're talking about people's mom, we'll say a prayer for Mike Simcoe's mom as well. It seems like something's happening with moms here lately. Good morning, my friend. How is mom, by the way?
Hey, good morning, Rascala. Good morning, Carolyn. I'm up here in Daytona with mom right now, so she's pretty happy to see my brother and I.
Cool.
She had a little fall last week, and it wasn't fun. That's why I missed the show. But she's on the mend, and just we're all grateful to have a little reunion right now.
Amen. I'm glad that she's on the mend. That's excellent. So, did you get to do some fishing?
Well, it's funny you ask. We seize every opportunity. Obviously, that's why the show is going so fast for you, because you talk fishing, it goes like this. Yesterday, I woke up early. I had a chance to fish with a couple of my really great fishing buddies that are neighbors. We did that little Wahoo. It's the Full Moon Wahoo series. It's a series of 3 Wahoo tournaments that the West Palm Fishing Club puts on. And we got out there at 6 in the morning yesterday, dropped lines. We didn't have any luck, but this was probably the best Wahoo bite of this summer season. The morning they had 5 fish. I think there were 5 fish caught. Another bunch were caught in the evening yesterday. And so, some guys were putting up numbers: 50-pound Wahoo, 40-pound Wahoo, a bunch of smaller ones. So it was a nice bite yesterday on the full moon. And along those lines, the moon and the evening is lining up. I think it's Monday evening tomorrow. So anybody that gets a chance to go out trolling, as the sun's going down, sun will be going down in the west, the moon will be coming up in the east, and it's just like a really good, good time for an evening bite.
Wow! Now, could you imagine being down in the Keys where you're right there on the Atlantic and the Gulf, so you're seeing this happen at the same time?
No.
That would be an awesome sight. Oh my gosh!
Gotta be epic fishing.
Wow. So now you mentioned Wahoo in at night. In my mind, I don't know. I couple Wahoo fishing with during the day. It sounds from what you described as pretty active at night.
Well, not night, but evening and mornings. As the sun's coming up.
I see.
Or as the sun's going down.
Yeah.
Those lower light conditions, with all fish, basically, I think what happens is, they get a little more active during those times, just because, we feel it as fishermen, because I think our terminal tackle gets a little more obscured by those lower level of lights, and their guard is down. There's not as many boats out there, so the pressure, especially in South Florida, the pressure of the motors and the boats, and just kind of knowing that your friends are getting picked off, disappearing out of the school.
It's the raptor.
Yeah, it's it is. It's
a fish raptor.
Apocalypse of fish.
Oh God.
So they're. I always like fishing those times of day. Plus, I work during the day, so sometimes we have to just make it happen when we can. A lot of times I'll pull the boat back in at 8 in the morning with, a few fish in the box, ice them up, and then go to work. Come home and clean them in the evening.
I don't think you've ever shared with me. What line of work are you in?
I'm a yacht broker for HMY Yachts.
Oh, yes. I think you did. Yeah.
So, I sell boats for a living. For Carolyn and I kind of try Trax, if you will, no pun intended. So, I sell the boats and list the boats that she's tracking.
Hot dog.
Yeah, which is awesome. And I'm surprised you weren't on earlier. I didn't bump into you yesterday. I was lucky enough to fish the Chase and Tail tournament on a 37-foot CV yesterday. And these crazy guys wanted to be off the dock and PGA by 4:45. So you can guess what time I got in my car. But
we probably ran across each other. I mean, we were zipping around. I was in a yellow 31 Contender walk around. It's owned by my buddy. It's called the Wahuka, and he named that boat after the fact that at the time he used to own hookah lounges. I fished with Rush Rashidi and with Spencer Talbot. These two are pretty well-known names in Palm Beaches. They went up a month and a half ago to one of the Atlantic City tournaments, which was a billfish tournament. Not only did they put a 301-pound swordfish in the boat, it was a pending state record, and it won $549,000.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, man, I like hanging around those guys, just like... We talk fishing to a different, it's a whole to a different tune.
Lord have mercy. Oh, my goodness.
Wow. They've been catching some big fish up there.
Wow.
Well, then, okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Rascal, but just real quick to give you something else to think about. They caught that pending state record. The next weekend or 2 weekends later, another swordfish bigger was caught, which has then superseded their pending state record. Then this weekend tournament up there, I forgot the name of it, a 958-pound blue marlin was drugged to the docks. Celebration Central, biggest blue marlin caught in decades there. All of a sudden, next day, an 1,130-something pounder was brought to the docks.
What the heck is going on?
It was incredible.
Is somebody like radiating this fish underwater or something? Well, that is really bizarre, isn't it? That you would start having.
The Northeast was incredible this year.
Wow.
And last year.
Wow.
It's strange, Mike. I'm watching this hurricane, right? And I didn't realize I used to be a lifeguard in Connecticut, so that water was 72 degrees maximum. I didn't realize the water temperatures off of Atlantic City are now up to 80, 83, 84 degrees, which is exactly what it was pinging to us yesterday fishing. So I think a lot of those big fish are coming into that warm water, that Gulf Stream, and it's just about the time these tournaments are going on, and that's where they're all going.
I think you're right about that. I can't be too specific on the temperatures, but it sure seems over my lifetime in Florida that the water temps have gone up. I'm sure there's stats out there for that and records, but yeah, it's real hot. Get out in the Gulf Stream, the flow is really great. You've got 3.5 knots of current some days, sometimes more, but the temperature is really up there. It's like you said, 80s is nothing.
It seems to be warm all over. I mean, just the temperature out here, like I was mentioning earlier, yesterday when I was outside, it felt like I was in the triple digits outside. And it had to be above 90, well over 90 out here. It was so hot out there for me. It was, my gosh, it's like literally walking out into a sauna. I couldn't hack it. I was saying earlier, I don't know how these people that work on roofs and stuff like that, if you're out on a boat, it's one thing because you're at least the worst that could happen out there is you can't get wet. Well, that's going to be pretty hard for you not to get wet because regardless of how hot it is, if you get wet and just a little bit of air as that water evaporates off your body, you can literally be freezing. It's the craziest sensation in the world. To be literally sweating at one point. I remember one day we were out off of my favorite place, off of the lighthouse down in Anamorada. It got really hot. I mean, it was one of those days, kind of like what we're going to see today. It was really still. The water's like glass. We just took a dip real quick. As soon as we took a dip, got back in, as soon as we pulled our lines up, started moving, I started getting cold. Why? Because the water, as it evaporates, creates a cooling sensation. So, and when you're out in the water, it's a little different. It does get miserably hot out there, but you can always cool off. You can always get wet and then dry right off again. When you're out here, it's like, I don't know. People are going to look at you kind of funny if you're walking down the street soaking wet.
Well, it's like, go ahead, Carolyn.
you were just only doing wahoo fishing yesterday? Did you put any kites up and grab some of those sailfish, or just wahoo yesterday?
I only had the opportunity to fish till 10 in the morning. We had that quick window, and they brought me back to the dock. I ran back, then of course I rushed up to Daytona to see my mom again. So that was just it. It was just a little pit stop, wahoo trip. We fished about 3.5 hours, and then I buzzed back up here to Daytona. But the bite was great. The wahoo, the sailfish, which you just mentioned, has been really incredible for the summer. I think, I have my thoughts on it, but really I believe that, there's always been historically a pocket of resident fish that live in the various areas of South Florida. They don't leave. There's another body of fish that migrates back and forth north, south, and around the Horn of the Keys. But in the end, guys never really targeted, and ladies, sailfish in the summer. It was like a bycatch, and you thought, gee, if you caught some, that was pretty interesting and cool, but nobody targeted them. Well, guess what? Now we're in the modern day of fishing, a lot more boats, a lot more sophistication. More people are kite fishing because I think everybody's figuring out it's a great way to produce more fish on the boat, put more lines out, offer a different presentation to the predators. And guess what? It's not surprising. All those resident fish are starting to eat, and people are realizing there's a nice bite of sailfish. Wouldn't surprise me if in the summer somebody puts on or decides to put on a sailfish tournament or a category in their existing tournament.
Well, I'll tell you, the tournament yesterday was kingfish, dolphin, and wahoo, and we caught every species that wasn't those. The girls put two big 5 to 6 foot barracuda on the boat. We got smashed by a sailfish. We had 9 lines up. We got smashed by a sailfish that made us walk around the entire boat and clear every line we had.
Wow.
So that was a fun fight, and crazy stuff. The snapper on the bottom. We decided we were just going to bring in whatever we had and dump it on the dock and see if they'd give us points for any of it. But, we let everything go. And, the barracuda, you saw the pictures of Scholar, huge.
Big barracudas. Pretty big.
Yeah, man. I people don't give them enough credit. They're a great sport fish. When they're that big, they're not really good table fare. But if you catch one that's like, I always say, like if you keep it under 20 inches or a smaller one, the table fare is delicious. And they get knocked quite a bit. But it's, again, keep them small and they're delicious.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Carolyn, I can't have a block. What's the name of that poisoning?
Ciguatera.
Ciguatera?
Yeah. Yeah, Ciguatera is real, but Ciguatera is real, and again, that's like the rep that the Cuda got. Again, bigger ones. They live a long time. They eat a lot of fish off the reef, particularly if you catch one on the reef system. If they're big, they've had a chance to really eat, fish that have, just through the pecking order have gotten, Ciguatera through the system. And that comes with time and age and, size. But the smaller ones haven't really lived long enough to get it. I don't believe. And then you have all the other fish, all the other reef fish, which are really just as dangerous if you start eating the bigger ones of those. So you got to be careful there.
Wow. Well, I was telling Carolyn as a younger, there was a time when I was younger, we would eat the smaller ones, and they were really good tasting fish. But we were told, I found later on in life, I was told that it was good that you were eating the smaller ones. Some of them have this poison in them. I never experienced that. But so you agree that the smaller ones they're good.
I've been, again, there's a lot of fish. We could take up a whole show talking about them that people don't want to eat. But if you do them, prepare them properly. Eat the right portion of the fillet, not the wrong one. There's so many great fish out there, and barracuda is one of them. And yes, I do eat them. I eat them when they're smaller.
Another one that shocked me was lionfish. People eating lionfish, because I always heard that lionfish were poisonous. I went,
Funny you said that. That's exactly one of the fish I was thinking about when I said that. You're right, lionfish. They are poisonous on their finlets. They have a sharp barb. Mm-hmm. It's part of their protective mechanism. But those get cleaned off and pulled off, and it's not the meat that's poisonous. It's those bones that come off of their fins.
So that's the misrepresentation again. I was really shocked. One of my friends was going diving, and they'd come back with all of these these lionfish, and I would say, "What are you doing? Them? We're gonna eat them. Are you kidding me? You're gonna die." No, you silly goose. We're not gonna die. You just don't understand. Yeah, that's. Again, I would like to learn more about that, because there have been times when I catch something, I really would like to eat it, like parrotfish. Angela, she won't eat them. She says they're too pretty to eat. But I hear that people eat parrotfish as well. You know what I'm talking about, Mike?
Well, in the Hawaiian Islands, it's called something else, forgot, but it's a delicacy there in a lot of the islands, in the Pacific and in some other areas. But again, it's just here in our area that they're not targeted and they're not really presented that way. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. There are areas of the world that consider those a delicacy.
Wow, they are beautiful
Mike,
fish. Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was going to say, Mike, you know the guys 2 conch charters down in Marathon, right?
Of course.
I had the pleasure of meeting and fishing with Vanessa, who's one of their lady captains, yesterday in this tournament. She drove all the way up from Marathon at 1:30 in the morning. And boy, I had a great time with her, and I would love to get Angela, her, and myself out fishing with you guys one day, because it was some top lady anglers, and boy, she's got a great story, and hopefully she'll be running one of their lease boats. I'm hoping in the next couple of months. So her name was Vanessa. She was a great girl.
I love that operation down there, and I would, we've talked about this a long time. I'm looking really forward to having you guys on the boat, and, doing some kite fishing. And I think, for all of us, we'll pick up some new information and new techniques. But the thing is, I was going to tell you guys, this time of year, it's a perfect segue here to talk about kite fishing, sail fishing, and the upcoming season. This is the time that a lot of us, we're getting that break. We'll have a little transition after August, where all that work, I say this every year to you guys, we start working on the boats, So I have a couple projects. I'm going to cut my boat up a little bit and customize it some more, move the transom back a little bit further, give us more room in our cockpit. Projects like that. Check all your electrical systems. Of course, get the kites out, clean those off, wash them, basically dry them, put them in the kite keepers. Just make sure that everything is dialed in and ready. Check your, obviously check your kite line on your kite reels, check your whips, all those little things, the clips, right? There are clips that, get, aged out. We cut those out and, replace those. In the end, getting ready for the big tournament season, which is coming right around the corner in December, January, February, March.
Holy smokes, it'll be here before you know it, too. My goodness.
When's the next tournament you've got on your books, Mike?
Well, that's a great question, because my boat's out of action, so now I'm doing that proverbial other people's boat thing. I know for me, it's going to be the Dust 'em Off tournament in December. So that's what I'm really kind of rushing to get my boat done and do Ben Sharp's tournament that he has every year, beginning of December. So that'll be my first one. So let's just leave that at that. Anything else I fish will be on somebody else's boat.
I'll tell you, when we were running, I was telling the audience, we were running this 37 CV yesterday. I saw the fuel burn go up to 56 gallons an hour.
Holy smokes.
To match the speed. And I was like, oh, boy, there's some dollars right there.
Oh, my goodness.
It is. I mean, did you happen to catch how fast you were going, though?
About 48, 49. So it was real close.
Yeah.
Burns of speed. It had triple mercury on it.
It is. It gets expensive when those boats get below a gallon a mile. But, they get there fast. And so, it's not quite as bad as you think when you get there quicker. And
you get there. Well, somebody once told me, because we were talking about different modes of transportation, they said, well, you can get to the same place with this particular piece of equipment. It may be a bumpy ride. You'll end up there. Maybe take you a little longer to get there. Or you can take this other piece of equipment, and you'll get there a little faster. It'll be a lot more comfortable. It's a little more expensive. And that's what it boils down to, right? All right, Mike, thank you.
Yeah, and that brings up the tournament thing, So you get a boat like mine that just kind of cruises at 30 knots. It's not getting to like a far-reaching area that we hear, on the cell phone. You kind of instantly know where the bite is. but you can't. If it takes me 3 times longer to get there, twice as long to get there as some of these other ripping fast boats, guess how many more fish they catch?
Yeah.
So that's the trade-off sometimes.
Yeah. Wow. God bless you, my friend. Prayers for Mom, and get her on the quick heel. And be an honor to have you back on with an update sometime here in the future. Greatly appreciate it. It's Mike Simcoe. He's with kitefishing.com. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you. I wish you well, my friend.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, my best to your mom, and hopefully we don't pass in the inlet next time and we are on the same boat.
Yeah.
Awesome,
You're
Carolyn.
listening to
Thank
the
you, guys.
Fishing in Florida show with your host, Riscala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. I just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, I'm fishing and
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida show. Good morning to you if you're just joining us. You have missed out. We will be replaying the show, but you'll have to go to the our home network, which is WTRMradio.com, which I failed to mention a couple of times this morning. It goes so quickly that I wanted to say a special thank you to Marina Rock Radio. This is one of our affiliates who allows us to use their servers in the morning. If you have the TuneIn app, you can find us on the TuneIn app at Marina Rock Radio every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. And then, of course, you can find us at thefishinginfloridashow.com on the web, or you can download our app. Our app does not have any spyware, adware, or push notifications. We're not interested in any of that. We're just trying to give you an easy way to listen to the network, which has a wide variety of shows, and this just happens to be one of many. Let me welcome back my co-host. That's Carolyn with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, this is the lady you got to talk to, Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, my dear.
Thank you, Riscal. And you mentioned how fast the 2 hours goes. I haven't even got up to refill my coffee because by the time I leave, the break's over, and I run across the house and slide on the tile floor.
It is
so
amazing.
Just like risky business.
So I think we have our next guest on. I hope I'm right here, and his name is Ross Beucek, and Ross is with bonefishtarpontrust.org, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what he does. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, guys. This is Ross. How you all doing?
Doing well.
Good, Ross. Good morning.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on the show. It's a great opportunity to talk what we're doing in the Keys, and yeah.
So let's tell us a little bit about what you're doing down there with this bonefishtarpontrust.org.
Yeah, Bonefish and Tarpon Trust, we are a science-based nonprofit aimed at conserving and restoring populations of bonefish, hermit, and tarpon and their habitats. We fund science and conduct science to really seek answers to the problems that our fisheries are facing. And once we have the scientific solutions to these problems, we work through advocacy channels, working in cooperation with fishing guides and anglers, or up in Tallahassee to find solutions to fix these problems. We've been around the Keys for about 20 years now. We got started and right about then when people started reaching out to scientists saying the bonefish fishery wasn't quite like it was and what can we do to fix it. And since then, we've kind of grown and we've expanded into the Caribbean, and we're doing a lot of great things down here.
So I know that we have some of our friends from the West Coast. They do a variety of things to help the different estuaries and the fishery on that side of the state. They do things like they go out and have this thing called the ghost trap rodeo, where they go out and they pick up the abandoned traps, because they're abandoned doesn't mean that they're not working. They're still killing fish and all that. Do you do that kind of thing too as well? Are you checking the environment itself out?
Yeah, we do a lot of different things. Some of our cooler studies, we funded economic surveys to identify how much money the shallow water fisheries bring in to the Florida Keys, and it turns out that the fishing in the shallow waters brings in about $500 million a year to Monroe County.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, a ton of money. So, and
my God, I had no idea. Oh Lord, wow.
Yeah, and that's been really helpful in justifying protecting important areas for the fish, and also doing a lot of things to make sure the environment's good for them and all that. Right now, our big focus is on wastewater infrastructure and water quality in the Keys and throughout the state and all the estuaries in the West Coast, Tampa Bay, Caloosahatchee, Pine Island Sound. And we're wrapping up a few studies right now that have really looked at the disease and contaminants that our fisheries like bonefish are being exposed to through poor wastewater management. And the results that we're getting from these studies are pretty concerning. High disease levels, high threats from different contaminants. And what this information is finalized, we're going to really start working to use the science to make our water quality better through fixing old leaky septic systems, cleaning up non-point sources of pollution and things like that. So it's really this kind of science to management approach that we take, and we've been pretty successful in the past, so it's cool.
I had read an article, this is probably a couple of years back now, about our reefs here in South Florida that were being eaten up. I don't remember the right verbiage they use. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but they found out that there was a correlation between that and people going swimming with suntan lotion on. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah. It's that sunscreen stuff. The chemicals in there, if it's not the right stuff, can burn the reef just like it would if we put kind of a light acid on our skin. Mm-hmm. And it's not so bad if it's just one or two people doing it. But we have like 5 million people visiting the Keys a year and all swimming on the reef, and that's wonderful. But we got to make sure the resource is not getting overloaded with different types of stresses, and the sunscreen being one of them. So people like, there's a lot of organizations at Key West that have really, and a lot of dive operators and around Isla Mirada that have really done a good job of making sure that their clients are educated and they're selling the right kinds of sunscreen to people that join their boat. And it just makes for a better reef and just happier people all around. So
I was rather surprised when I read that article. I said, wait a minute, it's a suntan lotion people are putting on their skin. And it just shows you how something we feel is so benign can be pretty disruptive in other areas. Just another reason to be aware, like you're saying, be aware of what's going on. So in the studies that you do, you mentioned one of them, the financial study. I was shocked. What'd you say, $500 million?
Yes, sir, every year.
Holy smokes, man. So are you doing other studies with regards to what is actually causing, like the bonefish and the tarpon, what is actually causing the disease in them? Have you been able to identify, like I mentioned earlier about the suntan lotion, and they realized that had a direct correlation the reef, to the coral reef. Is there anything that you've found that has a direct correlation to the diseases that these fish are getting?
Yeah, there could be all sorts of things. It's more of a death of many cuts, really. They're some of the threats that they're facing. So we can look at Biscayne Bay, for instance, and a lot of the canals in the south into Biscayne Bay drain off all sorts of stuff from people's lawns, and importantly, the South Florida Water Management District treats those canals with this type of copper poison, basically, that's used as a herbicide that essentially washes out into bonefish areas, and that could be a source. Our wastewater infrastructure, it was built 50 to 60 years ago, and we as humans take a lot of pharmaceuticals now that weren't around then, and our infrastructure is not meant to pick up all sorts of different types of new synthetics and chemicals that we just weren't equipped to do at the time, and they're getting that in their system. So it's a lot of different things, but the answer is just updating our infrastructure. It's going to cost money, but it's going to save our fisheries, not only the bonefish fishery, but the snook and redfish fishery, equally exposed to that, depending on which side of the coast you're on. It's kind of these toxins that have been developed and made our lives better, really. But if we don't take care of them, we're going to start hurting our fish, just like you said, like the sunscreen is doing to the coral reefs.
Carolyn?
I was going to say, that's something you don't even think about but now we're putting that on our skin. So if it's doing that kind of damage, diffusing itself in the water, and we're putting it concentrated on our skin, makes you really want to read labels a little bit more. And
that, and the pharmaceuticals that are being utilized through the wastewater system. How are you attempting to bring more attention to this? This is really, again, this goes back to something I've said many times. When I was growing up, our parents taught us that their parents taught them to leave this place better than it was when they were here. And that's what our parents taught me. And that's what I would like to do for my kids. So how do we do that? How do we bring more attention to this? I didn't realize this was going on, to be honest with you. I'm kind of ignorant about it.
It's a good question, yeah. And it's we're starting in November. We're going to launch a really statewide advocacy campaign with calls to action about what specific types of infrastructure problems that need to be addressed that can clean up our waters very effectively and optimally. We'll kick that off. We have a very large international symposium that we host in November, and there we've invited policymakers all the way up from the top of Tallahassee down to see the science that we're doing and our collaborators are doing, and then to hear from anglers and guides about how the fisheries have changed and what they're seeing, whether that's seagrass die-off in the Indian River Lagoon, and then also bring in scientists from across the nation and across the world who have worked hand in hand to fix these problems. Like, we have some researchers coming in from Sweden who did a great job of revitalizing their sewage treatment plants to clean up their waters. And we're going to see if we can apply some of the same things that they did over there here. But it all starts. We all need to make our voices heard, because this is a policy action. This is a policy problem at this point, and we just need to spend the money to make it go away. And this cleans up Tampa Bay. This cleans up Charlotte Harbor. Cleans them all up if we can do it right.
Again, it's a win-win situation. I love it. I can't help but try to support things where everybody wins, because kind of a selfish way, but I'm part of everybody, so you can't lose. Everybody wins, so you can't lose. Carolyn, did I step on you again? I apologize.
No, you didn't. Actually, I was just listening, because it's amazing when you look at what you're doing. Ross on this, and the CCA and all these other groups to really help the environment. And this is all volunteer, I'm assuming. I mean, you're probably working full time like the rest of us, and you do this because of the love of the water. It really shows how important and how passionate we are about, water quality and the reefs and everything that's out there that we all enjoy and we want future generations to enjoy.
Yeah. No, full disclosure, we're an organization. I'm an employee for BTT, but we do have a lot of people, like a lot of guides that we work who cooperatively live with. They'll they'll fish all day and then be on the phone with me for 4 hours talking about plans to move forward, what they saw in the water, where were the problems they're seeing, what can they do to help. And it's really cool to see, like you said, all these people giving their time to these causes because they want to have their kids to have these fisheries. And I mean, I grew up in South Florida. I've seen the changes and
sad.
Yeah. And, I mean, we can make it better. It's all fixable, and we got to make sure everyone's on the same page about it, and we're all working together. We worked with CCA recently on protecting a spawning aggregation down on the Keys, and it's all groups like us all coming together for the same kind of cause. It's really what's going to move this forward and stabilize our waters.
We've had the rep from CCA on several times. We've had Lisa Fitzgerald on with us, and we've had Captain Neil Holland with Ocean A360. They're the people that do the crab trap rodeos, I think is what, or ghost trap rodeos, maybe that's what it's called. People working to help better the environment. And, when you better the environment, you can't help but understand that it's better for everybody. If you want to get scientific about it, our bodies are somewhere, depending upon who you ask, somewhere between 70 and 80% of our body is water. If you're not taking care of the water around you, what do you think is going on in the water inside your body? So everybody wins when we're doing things like this, and I'm grateful to have people like you on that do that. And while I'm thinking about it, I think we have Angelia on with us as well. I want to give her an opportunity to say hello to you here. Angelia, good morning, my dear.
Good morning, everybody. And Russ, thank you so much for being on this morning and telling us about the BTT.
Oh, Angelina, very nice to virtually meet you here, and thank you for helping setting all this up. This has been a wonderful opportunity.
We love conservation. We are absolute lovers of the water and very active on the water, whether we're fishing or diving. And to know that there are people out there that are working very hard to keep that the same for us and future generations is just a really, really nice thing to hear about.
Amen.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
How would people read more about you? What are your websites? How would they call you if they have any questions or input or want to feel like they have something to help you?
Carolyn, that's a great question. Easiest thing to do is follow us on social media. You just look up Bonefish Tarpon Trust. We have a pretty active Instagram and Facebook pages. We post daily about different calls to action, different cool science facts that we find through our research. We have a website that has all of our information. It's bonefishandtarpontrust.org. It's cheap to become a member. You get $50, and right now we're running a cool campaign with a company called Guided. They used to be Reef and Ledge, and they're really into giving back to conservation, and they make a great product. I love their shirts, and we're working with them right now to promote memberships, and a little $50 a year goes a really long way for us in helping move these causes to the right direction. But yeah, the easiest thing to do is just follow us on social media and just check out what we post, because there's usually a lot of good stuff there, and cool fishing shots too if you like fishing stuff too.
Cool.
And you guys have a beautiful website too, so everybody should check out the website. It's just gorgeous, full of information.
Awesome.
Well, thank you.
Well, Ross, we want to thank you for your time this morning. Greatly appreciate you taking that time and sharing with us. I had no idea this was going on, so it opened my eyes to something that I was blind to, and hopefully it has opened some eyes as well out there to the listeners. Wish you an awesome day, my friend. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you, and we're going to go to a quick break and come back.
Thank you so much, Ross, for being on. Hopefully with Angelia and I can get a chance to meet you and maybe help somewhere along the way. But I appreciate everything you do to try and make the waters better.
I appreciate it, Carolyn. It'd be great to get you out in the water, go fishing with us for a day or two.
Oh, you don't have to ask more than once.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the
#1 radio.
Trim Radio Network.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
This has got to be the fastest 2 hours of my life. Oh my good! I'm glad the rest of my life doesn't go this quick.
Holy cow! You have no idea.
All right, we are back.
I'm trying to give myself sip my coffee.
We are back. Good morning, Miss Angelia. How are you doing down there in the Keys?
I am doing great. I'm sitting outside in the sunshine, but I can see clouds all around me and hear the thunder rumbling. So we've got some little showers coming through today, but no wind. It's a beautiful day, and no complaints down here in the Keys.
I don't know which one of the guests was mentioning, but I think they said it's going to be tomorrow night where the sunrise will be coming up on one horizon as the moon goes down. On the other, you can see the two of them, and you're down there in the perfect spot. Well, almost a perfect spot. I think a little further south of you, but you might be able to see that.
Well, I'm extremely blessed because there have been many occasions in my life that I've been out on the water fishing. And yes, you see the sun setting on one side of this horizon, the moon rising on the other, and it's just one of my favorite little phenomenons. It's absolutely beautiful. What more could you ask for?
Yeah. And Carolyn.
And I'll tell you, that was Mike Simcoe.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
I'd like to play a little bit off of Ross today. I have not been out in the water fishing, and anybody who's been listening knows that I'm a new homeowner down in Big Pine Key now.
Yay.
And I've been itching to explore the waters, and we have two boats, and they're both getting some repairs done on them, and we have not gotten them down here yet. But I met a lovely neighbor, a lovely woman, who goes diving all the time. And this week I took 2 days and went out diving with her on some of the local reefs and getting acquainted with the waters down here. And I'm an avid scuba diver and free diver on top of fishing. And it felt wonderful to be in the water. The reef down here is just gorgeous. I'm not disappointed at all on my move. The waters are beautiful. But talking about what Ross was playing off of Ross's session a little bit, there was so much debris on Looe Key Reef, which is a very, very highly dove reef. Like most of your commercial and tourist dive boats down here will take people out to Looe Key. It's a large area, gorgeous reef, great coral structure. But I'm in the water for just a little while, and I keep picking up debris until my hands are full. And I finally go back to the boat and get a net bag and fill it. And I picked up everything from people's dive weights that they had dropped to sunglasses to, soda cans, plastics, you name it, I picked it up. And it was very, very disturbing to me. The sunscreen issue has been very obvious to me for many years. Actually, Hawaii was the first one to start taking big action with that because their reef was dying at a very quick rate, and it was because of these different components in the sunscreens. And I've always been a little bit anti-sunscreen. Thank goodness for having great skin. But we'll see in years to come. But the sunscreen's one thing, but the actual debris that people are leaving in these waters, tourists may not realize how important this is to our waters and how important this is to our fisheries. But besides that, the reefs are covered with fish, you guys. I mean, just covered. I've some of the biggest parrotfish I've ever seen in my entire life. The angelfish are platter sized, and they're everywhere. And down here, they're even on the Gulf side as well as on the ocean side, which is phenomenal. The lobster have been picked over pretty darn well. But we had a wonderful opportunity day before yesterday where we had several sharks that were down there. A really nice big black tip shark that was about my same size, and a couple other little, what we would call like Atlantic reef sharks. And what a just amazing experience to swim with them down there. And when you got a tank on and you're 40 or 50 feet down, they don't even pay much attention to you. You're just another fish at that point. So it was really, really fun. Got to see so much wildlife. It gives me a better perspective on my fish when I go down there and I see where these fish are and what they're actually doing and their behavior and how they act and how they school together. It just gives me a better idea of what I'm doing on the surface when I'm actually dropping. So it's always really educational for me, but it was educational and exciting, and the waters down here absolutely do not disappoint. Very different, but just as wonderful and just as magnificent. So I've done a lot of traveling on the water this week.
Good for
And
you.
I have to say, I missed you terribly at 4:45 yesterday morning.
No joke, huh?
Oh, my goodness.
And that was a giant barracuda. Carolyn, that's a big barracuda.
And, you know, we got two of them. I was so excited on mine, I forgot to take a picture. And that young lady, Vanessa, is a captain for two conchs out of Marathon, and she lives somewhere in your neighborhood. So, and I sent you a fast jigging picture of her style, too. So put the two of you together, we got a big problem.
Or a big solution, one or the other.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, we had a great time yesterday. We hooked up to a big sailfish that ran us around the boat. We had to clear. We had 2 kites, 6 lines, 3 flat lines. Didn't catch any of the species we needed to catch, but it was a great learning experience with the 6 guys from Real Fantasy, a 37-foot CV. So they said we could fish with them anytime.
That's magnificent.
Wow.
That is awesome. Well, like I said, the fish are just absolutely prolific down there. They are in huge numbers, and I was just absolutely amazed. I saw everything from grouper to scamps, which are a species of grouper that are very, very, very sought after, but hardly ever seen down here. And the sharks, eels, stingrays, you name it, they're down there. So to see all of that life just flourishing on the reef was really, really, really encouraging to me. And to be able to just clean up a portion of the debris that people have left down there was also very satisfying to me. There's no way I can swim past artificial debris on the bottom of the seafloor and not pick it up. It's just not in me, you know. So, but yeah, and I got a new lobster net and a new pair of sunglasses and some new dive weights. So,
wow, can't go wrong.
Nothing like treasure hunting on the bottom.
There you go. Yeah, you can't go wrong there. Well, you know, you're saying
swim. Yeah, and from what I hear, I keep in touch with all of the captains and what have you up in the Northern Keys because that's been my turf for so many years. The mahi are still coming in. Somebody got lucky enough to find a nice weed patch and load up on some nice 9 and 10 pound mahi. And then somebody just 2 days ago caught 3 wahoo in one trip. So as soon as the boats get down here, I am on the water and I am fishing like a little fiend because hearing those types of reports just makes me start twitching and dinging that I'm not out there with a line in the water.
She's binging. You know how when the drug addicts don't get their fix, she's binging for a fishing fix.
Well, I don't know. I was sending her pictures during the day yesterday. I don't know if I was helping her or hurting her.
You're hurting her.
Oh, I was. No, it's twitching and dinging. I'm like going, oh my gosh, that's a gigantic barracuda. And even though that's it's a bycatch that we throw back, the fight on those barracuda, I've caught those 5 and 6 barracuda, and they are so exciting because not only is the fight just amazing and can go on for 30 or 45 minutes, but they will dance on top of the water just like mahi will or sailfish will. And man, when you see one of those big boys, those big 5, 6 footer dance through the water, it is just magnificent. It will get your heart pounding and your blood pumping like nothing else. It is just a blast. The pictures
Well,
look
our blood was pumping because we couldn't tell if it was that big fat kingfish. We needed to go to the scales until it turned sideways. So that happened to us twice. We got faked out, but it was a great day. We didn't make it to the scales, but you know how that goes. We had an awesome day. Missed you bunches. And by the way, she wants to fish in May the cow and bull tournament with us, and we can get on one of those 2 conch boats.
And I'll have to do one little cute spot for 2 conchs real quick. What a class act operation that is, you guys. Jack Carlson is the owner of that, and he operates a charter business like I've never seen anybody in my life. I think he's up to 8 boats now, and a couple of them are outfitted with entirely female crew. He was one of the first people to do that down here. And what a class act operation that he runs. So 2 conchs is definitely a referred charter service by me. Beautiful boats, great crew. They're always catching fish, and Jack Carlson is just a really good guy. So you can't get any better than that.
Yep. And Vanessa runs their 26-footer right now. Hopefully their 30-something footer soon. So she was one of the 2 female captains. So that's awesome. 2
raw female captains. No, I'm glad you guys had such a wonderful day. And like I said, even though I haven't put a line in the water this week, just getting out there and exploring new water has been so exciting for me. The different places that I've lived, I've scoured the water to the point that I know exactly where I want to go and exactly this spot and exactly that spot. So just like I maybe scratched the tip of the iceberg this week, but it was great to put a tank on and get down there and spend an hour at a time down at 50 foot, exploring. And the coral it looks healthy and beautiful. The structure is phenomenal. And like I said, the fish are just everywhere. There is such a copious amount of fish down there of all types. Your pelagics, your reef fish, your ornamental fish. And then, like I said, to be able to swim with a couple of nice sharks, I know that sounds really frightening to some people, but I always feel extremely blessed to be able to swim with a big stingray, a big eagle ray, or a big shark, or something really magnificent, because it's really a soul-changing experience, when you get to actually see these creatures in their environment. The other thing that was really, really thick out there were sea turtles. And sea turtles are a wonderful sign for us because sea turtles mean a healthy reef. And when we have a lot of good sea turtles out there, that means the reef is healthy, and it is flourishing. It's flourishing and it's thriving. So to see that many sea turtles out there was really, really nice.
When you say swimming with the sharks, we have a young lady who comes on every once in a while. Her name is Stephanie Lynn. She's a free diver, and there's one picture comes to mind when you were saying swimming with the sharks. There's a picture of her literally petting a tiger shark, I think it is. And this tiger shark is loving what she's doing. She's literally petting this tiger shark. And then to remind you, she's a free diver. It's not like she got tanks on and you can stay down there for a while. It was some of the pictures that she's taken with the wildlife is truly amazing. And she's another one that when you said swimming with the sharks, another one that came to mind. Commonplace with her. She goes down and swims with the sharks.
Well, I'm going to have to give her major props. A nice little black tip or a couple Atlantic reef sharks that are my size don't intimidate me at all. But I'm going to leave her to doing the petting of the tiger sharks. How about that?
I think it's a tiger shark. Is it, Carolyn?
With much
it is. Yep, they're tiger sharks, and they're about the size of her. If you see her her beautiful photos on her Facebook page,
that's pretty
and
amazing.
She thinks nothing of it. I mean, the stripes are so vibrant, and her little body next to them is pretty daunting. But we can leave it for her too.
Yep. Wow. We are rapidly running out of time. All right, my friends. As before we go, Miss Angelia, has the website up?
The website is up, FloridaSaltyCowgirl.com, and I'm very happy with it. It's been updated, and it's beautiful. My blog page is not up yet, but it will be very, very soon. And you can always reach me on social media at Florida Salty Cowgirl on Facebook or on Instagram. And I'd love to hear from you. Shoot me up with any charter inquiries or just basic questions. I get a lot of basic questions from people coming down here wanting to know where to go and what to do. And I'm always happy to help. I want people to have a great time when they get out here on our waters.
Cool. All right, my dear. Wish you an awesome day. Miss Carolyn, I'll give you an opportunity to say goodbye.
Absolutely, Angelia. We'll talk to you soon. And anyone needing trackers, reach out to us as well.
God bless. Carolyn, thank you for being co-host this morning. Greatly appreciate it. I'm looking forward to having you back on. And we'll catch everybody in a week. So long. Wow, what a 2 hours.